we have come to the end of the road of the college football season. We have got one game left, and it is for a championship. The Alabama Crimson Tide, who have been undoubtedly the most consistent team in college football, the most dominant team, undisputed number one team, and Clemson trying to avenge their only loss last year, and it was against this Crimson Tide team. Well, not the team in particular. They had some key players that are not on the team this year. But still, it's going to be a matchup to remember. I can just feel it. I think we're going to see a great game. Hopefully the game of the year. But let me just say that I'm now endorsed by the Athletes Hub. What a way to start the new year by being endorsed by another team. And by team, I mean the Athletes Hub. It's a team of guys that talk sports, kind of like what I do, but they write articles on what their favorite events to talk about are. Like I believe I saw one earlier where they talked about where Chip Kelly's next landing spot could be, or it's in another NFL team or back in college. Just an example. And they'll probably write articles about this championship game, which I kind of hope they do. Like this video is going to be on their website. So go check out their website. I will put the link in the description box below. Let's get to this. Let's start with the impact players. For Alabama, we've got quarterback Jalen Hurts, who has not played like a true freshman yet this year. But 2 years ago in the championship game, actually three, excuse me, Florida State versus Auburn, Jameis Winston played like a freshman in the first half. In the second half, he came out like a senior with that leadership that championship teams always rally around. Running back Bo Scarborough. You've got to feed him the ball. That's one of my keys for Alabama. But I'll bring it up again when we get to it. Coming off a career game against Washington, 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley, who has been productive all year long. He's kind of taken place of the Amari Cooper from a couple of years ago. Wide receiver Darius Stewart. I call him the game changer and a major X factor for Alabama in this game. Every time Alabama starts off slow, a big play to Darius Stewart just ignites the tide. It's just been some weird feeling that a big play to Darius Stewart just ignites Alabama for some reason. Defensive end Jonathan Allen, who in my opinion should be a top 5 pick in the draft this spring. Corner Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's going to have an impact. He's going to have his hands full with this Clemson receiving core of Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, even tight end Jordan Leggett. And kind of another key player, O.J. Howard, remember, especially last year, 6 receptions, 209 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. We're at the impact players for Clemson now. You can't not include Deshaun Watson in this, the heart and soul of the team, the guy that probably should have won the Heisman over Lamar Jackson. And he's got to lead his team out. If Clemson wants to win this game, they've got to rally around Deshaun Watson. Running back Wayne Gallman. He's going to have a huge impact in this game. You've got to constantly run the football if you're Clemson. At least that's what I think. Because Alabama's defense will get worn down eventually. I think this is going to be the only team in college football that can run this Alabama defense. Wide receiver Mike Williams. He's going to have a huge impact. And so will wide receiver Hunter Renfrow. Those two wide receivers are really, really impact players. They got to have a game. They got to have the game of a lifetime. Mike Williams didn't play in the playoff last year. And Hunter Renfrow had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of last year's championship game, which kind of led Clemson off with early momentum. Linebacker Ben Bulwer, the heart and soul of Clemson's defense. Clemson offensive line. They're going to have a huge impact in this game by protecting Deshaun Watson. One of the keys I have for Clemson, but we'll get to that when we get to it. The keys for Alabama. You've got to pressure Deshaun Watson. You got to force him to make quick throws, quick releases. You got to feed Bo Scarborough, especially coming off a career game. Again, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look for your dynamic wideouts. I'd say in particular, look for Darius Stewart, because I think he's a bigger game changer than Calvin Ridley is. Like I said earlier, Darius Stewart kind of ignites the tide in a way. Eliminate Clemson's running game. If Alabama's defense is quick off the snap, it eliminates the running game. it turns Clemson to a one-dimensional team. And it turns Deshaun Watson into just a one-dimensional quarterback. Because Deshaun Watson is forced to throw the football in this game. It's going to be a long night for Clemson. And do not take Clemson lightly. Just because Alabama is kind of a predominant favorite in this matchup. I believe they opened up at 7-point favorite, 7.5. It wouldn't surprise me if it grew a little bit more to that maybe 8 or 8.5 to 9. I believe last year the spread of this game was 9.5. But Clemson embraces off being the underdog. They were an underdog against Ohio State. But they prevailed. They showed no mercy against Ohio State. And I discovered that they didn't even allow Ohio State to run one play in the red zone, which is pretty impressive. So if Clemson comes out the same way they did against Ohio State with that same mentality, it's going to be a long night for Alabama. And here are your keys for Clemson. It starts with the offensive line. Protect Deshaun Watson. Give him time to throw the football. Give him time to look for the dynamic wide receivers. It's going to look for somebody. Mistake-free football. That's really important. Just because you can force turnovers on Alabama doesn't mean you can't turn the ball over. Doesn't mean you can still turn the ball over yourself. You can't do that. If you want to beat Alabama, you've got to turn over the football. You've got to not turn over the football. Excuse me. You've got to win the turnover battle. If you don't win the turnover battle, it's going to be a hard time for you to beat Alabama. So that's important. Force Jalen Hurts into mistakes. It's possible. Not every quarterback is going to be perfect. There's flaws in Jalen Hurts. Nobody's quite yet figured them out. But Jalen Hurts has flaws. Every player that is playing this game has flaws. But it's going to be up to Clemson's defense to figure out what those flaws are. It's going to take defensive coordinator Brent Venables to figure out what the flaws are for Jalen Hurts, Bo Scarborough, anybody else in that Alabama offense. 50-50 balls. You've got to do 50-50. Kind of like what I said is anytime you play Alabama, especially with a dangerous defense, just chuck the ball up and hopefully you can find Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow. They don't have to be completed necessarily, but you got to let Alabama know that you are not afraid of them. You cannot show any intimidation against Alabama because they will feed off of that. They will eat you alive off of it. And the defense needs to give the offense a short field. The shorter the field that your defense can create for Deshaun Watson, the easier you're going to have to score on this team. And I believe this is the matchup that we can have asked for. Because I believe Clemson, no matter who we got, whether it was Clemson or Ohio State, I feel like those are the only two teams in college football that can match up to this Alabama team physically. We kind of saw it last year. Clemson should have beaten Alabama last year, but they just could not take advantage of the Alabama mistakes. Alabama took advantage off of theirs, which was a huge deciding factor of who won the game. And this year, I expect it to be no different, because both these teams will make mistakes early on in the game. I can guarantee you that each team is going to have at least 2 turnovers in this game. It's going to determine on how you take advantage of it. Clemson took advantage of Ohio State's missed field goals. They turned them into a total of 10 points. They took advantage of the mistakes Ohio State did. So if Clemson comes out with the same mentality, same game plan, it's going to be a long night for this Crimson Tide. So honestly, into this prediction, whether I'm right or wrong, it's been a great season of college football, and I have just been so proud just bringing these videos week after week after week after week. I believe the country is rooting for Clemson in this game because they want to take down they want to see Alabama go down. They want to see Nick Saban lose a national championship. But it is difficult. I believe Nick Saban has not yet lost a national championship game. I see this going either two ways. I think Alabama's going to win by 14 points or Clemson's going to win a close one. So here's the pick. I've been debating about it all day long. In fact, I was going to do this last night, but I just needed more time to focus on making this pick. I am picking Clemson to pull off the upset against Alabama in this national championship game, and here is why. I feel like Clemson wants this more than Alabama does. Clemson has the experience. They know the pain that they had last year of losing the championship game. And they don't want to experience that again. Deshaun Watson, Wayne Gallman, Renfro, Ben Boulware, those four in particular, they don't want to experience that again. Especially with this being their last game, their last chance. They got to take advantage of the second chance. And I think they're going to. I think Clemson picks up a 38-34 victory. I think Deshaun Watson makes a clutch play in the fourth quarter. I like to be an instant classic. Kind of the same fashion ending that USC and Texas ended in. And I believe it was 2006. A game-winning touchdown late in the fourth quarter. I mean, really late. But I don't think it's going to be necessary as later. I feel like Deshaun Watson will throw the game-winning touchdown pass, or he'll run it in. Kind of the way Vince Young did it, leading the team to an upset victory. 38-34. Clemson will be your national champions, at least that is my prediction. But I think I'm probably going to be wrong on this. But I will pick Clemson because I'm kind of rooting for Clemson in this one. I would love to see Clemson take advantage of the second chance. Anyway, that is my prediction. Please do not comment who I picked in the comment box. People have been waiting all year for this video. And please just don't be a jerk and ruin it. Just don't. Anyway, comment below who you think is going to win, not who I think is going to win. Who you think. Please don't ruin it for everybody. Anyway, like, subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends, family. Share this on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. I will see you next time, everybody. Have a great night.